Okay. Last time, the party had recently arrived in the town of Saltmarsh in the Coldwind Peninsula, and wasted little time before investigating the strange lights that local sailors had been seen in the haunted house outside town. As you searched the house, you discovered a smuggling operation and narrowly defeated their wizard leader. After interrogating and releasing a prisoner, the party loaded their contraband into the smuggler's keelboat, and with some difficulty rowed back to Saltmarsh. Once back in town, you guys visited Welgar Brynhand, the Temple of Larandra, where he took care of Brynn's worm.
Gross.
And then you guys sought out Eleander Fireborn at the barracks and told him about tearing down a group of pirates. And he agreed to get the Saltmarsh Town Council together at dusk. So you guys then went back to the Wicker Goat to get a rest, and Kelnozz applied his disguise check just before entering the building.
My old man disguise.
Mm-hmm. So when you guys walk into the bar, so this is probably just a little bit mid-morning. There's not a lot of people in the bar right now in the tavern. Most of them have started their day and their work. So it is just Lankus there. That's the old retired soldier there who you guys met earlier.
He's the one who beat us at cards, right?
No, that's the bar. This is essentially the bartender who.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Mioth, who is a gambler. He wears a big wide brim hat and has blonde mustache that seems like stand out on its ends.
The bartender's name is Lincoln?
Lankus.
Lankus
Currid.
Perfect.
And as you walk in, as the group walks in, he says, Esther and groups. Welcome back.
I'll slowly, old man, walk my way to the bar. Oh, young man! Do I have a story to tell you?
All right, go ahead. I'm all ears.
Well, before I begin, can you tell me about the smugglers in these parts? Why do I have a Western drawl now? That makes no sense. What's the word on the docks?
Well, there's a lot of words on the docks. Sometimes cargo goes missing. Smuggling's a problem from time to time.
Have you heard word? Who's behind such things? Bunch of hooligans.
Well, it's hard to say. We don't know who's doing the smuggling, but the Sea Princes are the band of pirates that prey on most of our cargo ships. Could be that they have someone in town.
Sea Princes, eh?
That's right. Saltmarsh has a long history with the Sea Princes.
Those a bunch of swashbuckling buckaroos?
Something like that, I suppose. He looks to the other group and says, can I get any of y'all anything to drink?
I guess not. Back in my day, none of the youngins would have been out pirating and being a scallywag. I blame the new music that all the kids are listening to.
New music? I don't think I'm following.
Yeah.
Hey, are you hungry?
Shanties.
Okay. Hey, can I fix you some some breakfast, or have you already eaten?
I think we could all use a breakfast, a hearty breakfast after that day or night, whatever it was.
Okay. He goes into the back and starts cooking. What are you guys doing?
Let's remind Eikooc that he has that book.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll sit at the table and study that spell book while we wait for our meal.
San Belay, right?
Mm-hmm. So spellbook, it takes an hour per level to put that into your spellbook, and 50 gold per level.
That is more gold than I have.
Now the exception would be whatever you have just specialized on as part of your school, right? Your spells for that are usually halved. I think the gold cost is as well.
Okay.
Just a reminder that Kelnozz and Theren, you're currently exhausted from all the rowing.
We're
we
like
do a long
on
rest.
spell slots, like we're all having a rough day. We just survived hell.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest a meal and a nap, my friends. A light nap for a long while. So not so light, a serious nap.
We have until evening for the council meeting.
Yes.
I suggest we rest until sometime around there.
You guys probably have roughly 10 hours.
How long's a long rest? 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after this
Yeah.
meal, I'm gonna KO and rest up.
Yeah, true.
So after a few minutes, Lankus comes out, and he's got a barmaid helping him, and just carrying plates of some roasted meat and potatoes and a couple eggs. And he asks you all for 2 silver each.
All right.
I will pass him 8. I'll pass him 10 silver and be like, "This one's on me, fellas."
Most generous.
Most generous, Kelnozz.
Keep the change, young man.
He says, "Thank you, sir." And he lets you guys have your meal.
We enjoy it. And then,
Describe enjoying it, Scott.
Yeah, how does it taste?
oh man, it's the most average of steamed hams.
Okay.
Potatoes are only slightly overdone.
So another thing to remind you guys is you have yourself a couple of magic items that you don't know what they do, and you could possibly figure that out by attuning to them during your long rest.
Attuning to them?
Mm-hmm. It's like during your long rest, you spend some time focusing on the item, and it gives you an idea of what it is or what it does.
We have a couple of items, so we should focus on these items.
The drawback to that, as opposed to using an identify spell, is that you can only learn about a curse the hard way. Because once you attune to something with a curse, you're cursed. So
Does something have to be magical to be cursed?
a curse would be a magical item, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I already know my plate mail's not magical, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay there. I'll just do a full rest because I need the
What,
rest. I'm all exhausted.
What kind of fighter would use scale mail? Would a
Anyone
paladin
with medium.
scale mail over plate mail?
unlikely to have as good a thing. Well, unless
It's medium versus heavy mail, so it would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I might be able to use it then.
Oh,
Do you have medium proficiency?
Yeah, light
Perfect.
and medium.
Okay.
So, while we make way to our rooms, I make sure to split up some of the loot that's been floating around.
Ooh, is everyone gonna get their fair share?
To Eikooc, I hand a floor-length oilskin coat trimmed in green silk.
Hmm.
To Theren, I hand a book that is the Tide and Times of Saltmarsh and has many maps. And to Kelnozz, 5 casks of brandy.
Yeah.
I will keep the volume of fully illustrated erotic poetry for this long rest.
You suddenly realize that you left your 5 brands of cask of brandy at the boat.
Oh, boat brandy. I instead hand you the treatise concerning the King of Magic, which is another book. Some light reading, fellows. I'll be
It's
holding
a treaty.
a
Sorry.
marked book.
Can you say the thing that you gave me again? A floor-length oilskin cloak trimmed in green silk?
Oilskin coat trimmed in green silk. It's worth 5 gold, but I think it's just more like flavor dress.
Gotcha.
There were 2 magic items. Did you mention both of them?
Yes, I do have a magical pipe and magical scale mail. But I don't know what each of those does. The pipe, perhaps I will smoke. Magical scale mail.
You sitting in your room smoking, or
Yeah, smoking in my room. Trying to study the pipe.
what are you smoking?
Oh, you know. The finest herb.
Okay. You start smoking it, and it draws very well. Seems like a very well-made pipe. Nothing seems to happen immediately. How long are you going to smoke this? Do you keep smoking, or do you put it out?
Yeah, I would probably just keep rooting on the pipe there for a few minutes. Like I'm not talking like hours blackening my lungs here. Like,
After 10 minutes, you start noticing that the smoke has not been dissipating or dissolving into the air. It's been billowing and clouding. And
Just hotboxing that shit.
as you sit there and look at this smoke, you see that the smoke is moving in these odd, strange shapes. And if you look at it, you actually see that it's depicting a scene. It's replaying a memory of yours. And it's a memory that you consider to be your greatest moment of heroism.
Ooh.
And then after a few minutes, it dissipates.
Oh. Interesting.
just keep replaying that. You shooting that one dude right in the neck.
Yo, shot guys many times in the neck in that last game.
Is there anything else that anyone wants to declare before we go for the long rest?
Would I still have time to study the scale mail while...
Yes, yeah, that wasn't a tuning. That was just like a 10-minute smoke. Okay. You actually don't know too much about that pipe. But all you know is what you saw.
Yes, I absolutely get that.
Okay, if nobody else has anything that they want to declare, we will do a long rest. Scott, I would like you to join me in whatever does not matter.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Shit.
Alright, let's go.
You do?
You're grateful for the soft comfort of the inn's straw bed. It's been a long day, and your shoulders and back ache from the unfamiliar strain of rowing for hours at a time. You shutter the windows, and as you lay on the bed, you focus on the beam of light cascading through the dim room. As the dimness fades to darkness, you're young again, trapped in the darkness of your ruined temple, a tiny beam of light illuminating the pocket of stone rubble that you will die in. But then the light is gone, and a copper gauntlet reaches out of the rubble, pulling you up, out of the rubble, and into the night sky alone. Your gaze fixated only on the frosted-tipped mountains to the southeast and the large copper crescent moon hanging over the eastern peaks. You feel a strong urge to reach out and touch the moon, as if you could pick it up. What do you do?
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I reach out to it and attempt to pick it up.
You reach your hand out to the moon, and for a second it basks in the copper light. As soon as you touch it, a crack of copper lightning jumps up your arm, starting from your fingertip and racing through your body. Your whole body seizes, but you feel no pain, and in an instant it ceases. But you feel new powers within you, and you look down to see your hands crackle with copper lightning. Your gaze is drawn back to the frosted mountains, where the copper moon hangs. A strong but gentle voice speaks in your ear. "Come, Theren," startling you awake.
Key.
Okay,
to,
you guys.
Sorry, I'm just giving Nelson a quick lowdown on what happened after. So we got this bullseye lantern for making signals when the timing is right. We got in the boat, and both Kevin and Scott critically failed to row us.
Ryan,
Yes.
do this in character. You guys will be waking up and telling him all this stuff.
I was there.
Or just going over it. Just doesn't make sense to talk about it out of character.
Okay.
Right? You guys can be just recounting it.
You must remember from yesterday when you were kicking ass and taking names in the name of Kelnozz.
I just stood back in the doorway.
We quickly steered our boat towards the shipwreck, but instead changed direction and decided to come back to the Wicker Goat for an evening's rest. When we first returned back to Saltmarsh, if you remember, Theren and I went to the large shrine of Lalandra, and look at this hole in my chest. They took my rock grubs out, which was just dandy. It makes me feel much better inside. And also to identify curses on magic items we picked up earlier. I think we just did the rock grubs, though. Let me skip through that part. Ooh, it jumps over. Oh no, he referred us somewhere.
Ah!
What happened?
Please touching men at all times in real life. God damn it.
What? What are you talking about?
I left some Easter eggs in Kevin's character sheet.
Ooh.
And myself, just one.
I just noticed it as I was.
So after we got these rock grubs out, if you remember, we.
This is just I just summarized this about 10 minutes ago.
Yes. Okay. Well, then we continue on.
Okay.
Very
Does
good.
Theren look any different than before?
I wonder why Theren started drooling standing next to us in the pause screen.
Maybe we should cut off his hand just in case. Premature.
It's definitely premature. I'm wearing a
preventative.
Preventative hand.
Just in case.
So Theren comes down to the main room after his rest and finds Brynn and Eikooc and Kelnozz recounting their adventures from the previous night.
Tales of valor and heroicism.
It's now like closer to like about probably 5 o'clock, and dusk is going to be probably in 2 hours to 7. And the wicker goat is much busier now. A lot of the people have come in. They're having their evening meal. Lankus is pretty busy. He's going from table to table, and he's got his barmaid at the bar. The only thing that really jumps out to you is you see that there's a woman sitting at the bar who has a trident and a shield resting next to her. And she's in scale mail and has long red hair that's pulled back. Not into a ponytail, but pulled back, kind of clumping together behind her back. And before we go too far, I'll just say, Ryan, when you finished your long rest, you discovered that your scale mail was mariner's armor. So just remember, this was scale mail that was seemingly made out of tin and adorned with imagery of fish hooks and fish themselves and symbols that you now kind of recognize from the Temple of Larondra as connected to her. And while you're in the water, this armor gives you swimming speed equal to your normal speed. And if you fall to 0 hit points, it will rocket you up 60 feet. So you guys are having your tale. Theren comes down. You guys notice the woman at the bar table. What are you guys doing?
Just chilling.
Well, guys, what do we do next? Are we waiting for this town council meeting? What are we looking to accomplish here?
We must go to the town council. We are meeting Eleander Fireborn for a very specific reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, that very specific reason, which is we want to rally them against pirates?
Well, to let them know about all the stolen goods that were recovered, and
tell them about the stolen shipments.
Yeah.
Claim a reward, perhaps. A bounty, if you will. Then the frolicking can begin. Or continue, depending on what you've been doing recently.
Is Brynn wearing that armor that he got?
That's what I was just looking up. Is it better than the armor that I have on? I'd imagine it is. 14 plus dex. But it gives me disadvantage on stealth. I don't like that. I think for now I'm not going to be wearing it.
Okay.
It's your swimsuit.
You know what? I'm putting it on. I'm putting it on.
Okay. So while you guys are talking, you notice that this woman at the bar has noticed you and walks over to Brynn and says, I can't help but notice what wonderful scale mail you have on.
Oh, why, thank you. I do think it is quite suitable.
Indeed. Did you know that what you're wearing is a blessed piece of armor?
A blessed piece of armor? Whatever do you mean?
Oh, you don't know? Well, that magic is magical. I can tell you what it does if you let me examine it more closely.
Oh, perhaps you should take a look. And I move towards her.
She starts undoing the straps on your armor. She says, this is amazing. It won't take me too long, I swear. She's taking it off of you.
Perhaps I should know your name before you strip me down in the middle of this bar.
My name is Jase.
Jase.
I'm here from Arcanadon with my brother. We're looking for magic items just such as these. Are you gonna let her take it off of you?
Like the whole thing, or like, can she look at pieces of it?
She's
Just a chest piece, right?
once she gets off all the straps, she starts like trying to pull it off of you. So like, she's quite clearly gonna take this away from you, or at least off of your body for now.
Perhaps I can watch you while you study this artifact.
Oh, it will take a few hours. I'll have it back to you by dawn.
I motion to Isosceles. Doesn't seem like a good idea.
Make a insight check. Brynn. Although actually anyone can do it who's watching this interaction.
Oops, I didn't. Character. 14.
Okay, let's see. $14 is your correct number there?
Yes.
Oh boy.
You get the genuine impression that she wants to take a look at this armor more closely.
Well, that's what she. But like, are her intentions pure, or are they like, I'm taking this and like?
Her intention. All you can tell from her intentions is that she does want to examine this armor.
Okay, I'll remove it and.
She says, and what was your name?
Brynn Isosceles.
She heads toward the door, picking up her trident and shield, and she says, thanks a lot, Brynn Isosceles. I'll be sure to see you in the morning.
Excellent.
And she dips out the door.
Please.
Make sure to remove the Mariner's scale mail from your inventory.
Well, at least I didn't get to use it.
And you're currently armorless.
Brynn, perhaps you're a bit too trusting with strangers.
That could be. Maybe I should run upstairs and put my leather armor back on. So
Indeed.
What's that?
Indeed.
Yes, I run back up to my room before we leave and get dressed in my leather armor.
Less suitable armor.
Less suitable.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we'll ever see her again.
She did take off mighty quickly. But, like, let me examine for a few minutes in front of you, but like, take it off you and leave immediately.
Well, Brynn went up to go change. Did anyone else do anything else?
Can I talk to what's the bartender? Hold on, I have his name. Lankus. Is he standing behind the bar?
He's not at the moment. And as you look for him, you realize that you haven't put on your disguise.
I have what?
You haven't put on your disguise since your long rest.
Oh, well, I would have put it on after my long rest.
Okay. Make your intelligence check with proficiency from your disguise kit.
Is it intelligence?
It's whatever makes sense in the moment. So I'm going with intelligence because you're kind of like trying to trick people into thinking that you're a different race. Okay, so that was your disguise.
Yeah.
Yep. And so no, you don't see Lankus immediately. But after a few minutes, you notice him coming out of the back of the kitchen.
I say, damn, what was that girl's name? Jessie. I'm going to speak to Lankus.
Mm-hmm.
Lankus, my good man.
He goes, Esther? Feeling okay today?
Well, I'm a bit under the weather.
Make a deception skill check.
These old bones aren't what they once were.
He narrows his eyes at you, and he says, what'll it be?
I'd like to ask you if you've met Jase from, what was it? Arcadon.
Jase, eh? That's one of those people I was telling you about yesterday. Her and her brother, Jamez, Mioth, they've been here causing a ruckus. That other one that they're traveling with, she ain't too bad. Captain Zendros. But those three are definitely troublemakers.
Do you know where we could find them?
Well, Captain Zendru is just down the road where you would usually take a left onto Trollfin Bridge. Just keep going straight. And you'll see a building on the right.
And how about Jase and Jame? Whatever the fuck their names are.
Well, they all came on the same ship together from Arcanidon. So if they're gonna be found anywhere, probably there. But hard to say. People like to wander in this town. They don't seem to get along with the captain that well as the three of them do with each other. Captain Xandru there, she's actually a bit of a broker for different magical items.
Ooh, I look at Eikooc.
Costs a pretty penny, but she can get you stuff that you're looking for.
Well,
I do not have pretty pennies.
What did you say, Brynn?
I was eating a chip.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was crunching.
Well, you'll need a few pretty pennies if you want anything from her. Nobody works for free in Saltmarsh.
Darn tootin'.
So you have about an hour left until dusk. You notice that a couple of guards come into the inn and start asking around for a group of elves and a Halgud.
Oh,
What do you guys do?
perhaps we should scurry to the council past these guards who are looking for people who look like us. A curiously similar group.
Or
What if
should
they're
we-
here? to
Should we
take us
approach
there?
these guards?
Yeah.
We have nothing to hide.
It's true.
Didn't we tie someone up?
They don't know that.
What are you guys doing? You can see they're starting to look around. They don't look like they're in any
Are they
urgent.
rapidly looking around or just like browsing?
They're like just kind of they're just like scanning the room with their eyes. They're not looking extremely urgent. Their weapons are holstered. They don't look aggressive.
I stand up.
All right, they see you and and start walking over, and they tell you
I wasn't
that,
getting out of here without them not seeing me.
and they tell you that they're here to escort you to the council building, should you need it.
Very good.
John, most excellent.
Okay. They start leading the way. Do you follow?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, as you guys leave the Wicker Goat, you see that it is getting very close to dusk. Another hour or so, the sun will be fully down, and most of the ships are either in now or pulling in, and even from here you can hear the sound of music coming down from the docks. And the guards start walking slowly at first down back towards the bridge and towards the council room, which is over by the docks. Do you guys follow the whole way?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So they lead you into this large stone brick building that you saw earlier is where the council meets. And after about an hour of waiting around, you notice people shuffling in, and a group of five people come and sit down at a long table on the opposite side of the room as you. And there's a small retinue of guards in the room. There's probably about 8 of them standing at the different sides of the room and at the windows. In the middle of the table, well, from the furthest left to the table, you see a dwarven woman. So as you can see, she's got like long brown dreadlock hair. She looks like she's a middle-aged adult. Next to her is Eleander Fireborn, who you already met. Next to him is a female human who's in her 60s. She has dark, weather-worn skin. Next to her, in a extremely fancy clothing, in a very with a wide brim hat with a huge feather on it, just put to the side with him, clean shaven, or like he's cleanly groomed. I mean, he has a trimmed beard. And next to him is a very young man. The guy looks like he's probably no better than 25. And he's also in some expensive clothing. And he's kind of looking around the room as if he's kind of excited by all this. And after everyone's settled for a moment, the woman in the middle raises a bronze bell and rings it 3 times and says, "This meeting of the Saltmarsh Council has begun. Eleander Fireborn, you've called us here today to hear the testimony of these adventurers. The council will hear what you have to say, Eleander." And Eleander stands up and says, "Earlier today, these 4 came to me and told me that they harried down a group of pirates. Told me about some stolen silk contraband and brandy. And they said that they wanted to talk to us about where they found this. Now, that was this morning, you see. And since then, my friend Welgar came down to talk to me and told me a bit more about these adventures. Told me that they had worms inside of them and tried to sell him this silk.
Oh, no.
Now, I didn't think too much of this because Welgar, as we all know, is, well, he's seen many tides, as he likes to say, and some think that his ship has gone out to tide a while ago. Now, that was until a bandit came down from the hills talking about a group of elves and a Halgud who done tied him up. Didn't take too much to have him confessing to a whole smuggling ring up in the hills in the old haunted house. So what I'd like to hear from you boys is the truth. And it better be real purty."
This is Western theme.
Well, sir, the truth is that we did discover a smuggling ring in that haunted mansion, or it was made to seem haunted, of course. The man named Sam Blay was in charge. I believe he was the one responsible for the illusions. We defeated him and dismantled that operation.
The older woman stands up and says, "My name is Edda Oland, and I've been in Saltmarsh all my life, and my family has been here for generations. What I want to know is why you came in here and lied to Eleander." Well, has one of you the courage to speak?
We mean no deception, only that, what was it that we told him again?
That you originally?
Yeah.
You said that you harried down a group of pirates.
Well, we did.
Harried the shit out of those pirates.
It's true.
So, where were you in that sentence as you were answering her?
There must be some confusion here. We reported that we had fought these bandits to Eleanor, but perhaps we didn't go into as many details as we have here today.
The dwarven woman clears her throat and says, I may not have been Saltmarsh long, but I know that you won't get very far making enemies by telling lies. We're very happy to be hearing about taking down a smuggler ring. We'd be looking to reward you.
Well, that's basically what we did. Where's our reward?
Edda says, we will give you 200 gold pieces among you. Now, is there anything else you'd wish to tell us about the smuggler's ring? I'd like to know as much as possible.
Well, we found in a cove at the base of the building a ship, or a boat rather, that seemed to be used to make a rendezvous, probably with whoever this smuggling ring was working for. Is there anyone around here who might be involved in that you might know of?
Well, if we knew who was the smugglers, then you can bet they'd be in Eleander's barracks. And Eleander says, "Humph, that's right. If you have any suspicions, I'd like to hear them. We don't let smugglers just walk around here." And Jelan Primewater speaks up and says, this talk of smugglers is getting us nowhere. I say we let these adventurers go on their way and hope they don't cause any more trouble for us.
Can I ask Eleander a question?
Go ahead.
Do you have anyone in the barracks right now who are active or suspected members of the Sea Princes?
Sea Princes? He nods out the window to where the gallows stand and says, they don't last too long around here.
We heard from a reliable source that they might be responsible for the smuggling ring that we disrupted.
They must be using the cover of night if they're rowing out to a bigger boat. I haven't seen any. I'll set my guards to watch out over the bay. Maybe we'll catch this boat as it comes for another rendezvous.
It seems that we're more proficient than your guards. Perhaps you could give us extra information to help track him down.
You know we're good.
Perhaps you've heard of my friend here, Isosceles. He's quite the well-known bounty hunter in these parts.
I heard he's got 1 year out of university. He says, well, if there is a ship that they were communicating with and bringing all the contraband to, then I think I speak for this council when I say that we would like you to be the ones that try to deal with it. But we don't know when this next ship will be, and we're not sure where that ship will lay anchor. I reckon we need some time. You didn't find out when the next shipment will be, did you?
About a week, I believe. We heard from one of the smugglers.
All right. Well, I will set my guards up to watch out for the rendezvous boat. And in about a week, we'll touch back here. And old Galen Primewater here will set you up with another dinghy if you need one. And you can row out to the boat and take care of any other smugglers you find. How's that sound? We'll tell you what, you do that for us and we'll double the money we just gave you now.
My friends and I are up for the challenge, sir. We'll end whatever evil is responsible for this.
Alright. Etta Olins clears her throat and says, I want to make one thing clear before this council is adjourned. You should all know that Saltmarsh has existed long before the council. And for centuries, the Halgud were a constant threat here. And now, your elven kind brought upon the stain of Arcanus upon everyone. And as a result, demons flooded the western province. So don't think that your kind is welcome here. We're accepting you. But don't think that we've got open wide arms. Is that clear?
Perhaps you can deal with this smuggling issue yourselves then.
We've got by quite long. We'll get by. If you don't want the 400 gold, some other adventurers will. You can make an insight check, everyone.
Okay. Hey-o.
$16.
Okay, so you're kind of oblivious to this, but everyone else kind of notices that the Dwarven lady and Eleander are kind of bristling at this language. They don't really seem like they're super comfortable with the way Etta is talking to you, and so the last thing she said is some other adventurer as well. Is there any other business to be brought to the council?
Hold on. While this is all happening, I'm looking over at Gillen. What's his reaction to this plan to take down these smugglers at night in a week's time?
What you get from Gillen is that he is very much in agreement with Etta. He's like nodding his head as she talks about how good the elves have been not so friendly in the area, but you don't get anything further from him.
Okay, and who's on our side besides Iliander? Who's the other guy who didn't necessarily approve?
This Dwarven lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If there's no more business, then this council is adjourned. And most of them stand up and start leaving. What do you guys do?
I don't have anything to add.
The room is essentially clearing out now anyway, so the chance to add something has been lost.
I'll say meeting adjourned.
The Dwarven lady walks over to you and says, I'm sorry for the way that Etta spoke to you back there. My name is Manistred Copperlax. I want to thank you.
Why, thank you. This racial discrimination must end. I'm sure they're also difficult on you dwarves. Is that true?
Aye, they are. Not for being a dwarf, though. They just don't like me for... Well, I run the new mining company that's running out of the mountains down south. We have our offices here, and we ship some of our goods out by the docks. You may have gotten a sense from Saltmarsh sailors and fishermen that they're not so keen on us miners. I guess they don't like the change from being a fishing town into being more of a miner's town.
Yes.
I think there's room for everyone, though.
I agree. Have you met with Jalon before?
I've met Jalon many times, as I'm sorry to say. He's he's one of the richest people in town, so he has lots of friends. But he doesn't like our mining company either. So I don't much like him.
Fair. We've had the pleasure of meeting him.
Why do you want to know about Dallin?
Well, when we just before we met him, we overheard a fight between the dwarves and the sailors working down at the docks. I'm just curious if he was involved in any of the mining operations with you.
Galen? No, he runs the lumber and other exports. He wouldn't touch any mining. You see, the mine was given to us by the council. We're here on the council's order, and that's why I have a seat here on the council of Saltmarsh. They think that if we're going to have the mining industry flourish, that they need a political voice, and so that's me. No, Jalan and I are on opposing sides of most issues.
Do you think he's dangerous?
Dangerous? That fopish dandy?
Ooh, watch your tongue.
Oh, paladin. Oh no, not to a warrior like me. I could squish him if I wanted to. You seem awfully interested in him. Has he upset you in any way?
He just didn't seem very concerned about missing sailors, or he didn't seem to be too enthusiastic about us searching out that haunted mansion that turned out to be a smuggling ring. I don't trust the man.
He offered us work. We're not sure if it's on the level.
Well, I wouldn't expect him to be excited over anything that didn't profit him personally. As for work, well, I wouldn't trust Jelen to be perfectly on the level in terms of recompensation, but I have never known him to do anything illegal.
What about the other members of the council there? There's a young man. Do you know who he was?
Aye, of course, it's Anders. Anders Solmar. Poor boy. Poor boy. He's the newest member of the council, even after me. His parents used to be on his father used to be on the council, but the sea princes killed his father and his mother, and so he came into quite a bit of wealth, as well as his spot on the council.
When I mentioned the sea princes, did he get like a bit upset? Is it still?
Would
I have noticed that?
You didn't notice it.
Okay.
And I guess you got a good impression of Edda.
You could say that.
She says, well, It was nice meeting you. If you're looking for more work, let me know. There's always something that needs to be done around the mine.
Where is the mine from here?
Oh, it's at the base of the Frosted Tip Mountains to the south. There's a new road. It doesn't show up on all maps, but just follow the road south, and you'll find it after a couple days of walking.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure. Now, if I could offer you one last word of advice, make sure you check keep your belongings on you. There's pickpockets in Saltmarsh, and I seem to have lost one of my most treasured items.
What is that?
Are you familiar with the Drift Globe?
Drift Globe.
Make an Arcana check before you say no.
Oof.
You know only that it's a magical item.
What did you call it?
Drift Globe.
Yeah.
Drift?
A Drift Globe.
Perhaps those hooligans from Arcanos might know something about it.
Arcanodon, you mean?
Arcanodon. Sorry, Arcanodon.
When you say that, she kind of scratches her fuzzy chin and says, now that you mention it, it did seem to go missing after one of them made a visit. Excuse me for a minute, and she leaves the room.
I think we should follow her.
Kelnozz says, I think we should follow her. What do you guys say to that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she wants to be followed, but certainly we should see if we actually meet up with Jazzy tomorrow. Or if she doesn't show up, then there'll be trouble.
As she's leaving, I just say, "Do you need assistance?"
Sorry, what do you mean?
You said you were leaving in a hurry after realizing that these people had possibly taken advantage of you. Do you need some assistance in where you're going?
Oh no, I'm not one to do anything rash. I'm going to go take a look in my quarters one more time before I go pointing any fingers. But keep an eye out.
Thank you.
She nods and turns again to leave.
Good thing we didn't follow her to her quarters.
That would have been weird.
That would have been weird.
So now it is just after dusk. It's early evening, early nighttime. But you guys have just finished your long rest, so you're up. You have lots of energy. The night is yours.
Well, we could travel to that graveyard that we actually came here for.
Yes, the graveyard. Not a bad idea, Theren.
What
To the
what state
graveyard.
is our boat in?
Full of brandy.
We're just gonna leave it
Ready for
where we left
puppy.
it.
It's parked at the docks. We didn't carry it up to the inn. Put it
We could check on it.
Well, I'm just saying we just found a boat and we've left it. We have a boat.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet boat. We could check on our boat before we head off to the graveyard, perhaps.
Okay. You're very close to the docks, so it's just a matter of moments before you walk over to where you left your boat. And you can see that the council has taking care of your boat for you to some degree while you guys are sleeping. It's been properly tied off, and the contraband has been removed. Returned to the town.
Were all 5 barrels returned?
Yeah, all of the silk, all
Even
the
the
casks.
secret barrel that I
All the
hid
casks?
underneath the ship?
Underneath the ship?
Yeah.
Nope.
I like sunk it.
I must have forgot that part. No, it's all gone.
So no boat party then? I have to go, guys. How good in condition is our boat?
Make a investigation check.
I know a lot about seafaring.
You. Why'd you roll twice?
I didn't mean to.
Well, I'll go with the 17. You rolled that first.
Yeah. That's good.
You took a very thorough look of the boat, and so just a reminder: this is a boat that fits about roughly 8 people. It's called a keel boat. It's got 2 oars. It can be rowed by 1 person, but it can have a crew of up to 3 people. It has a set-down mast, so you can move by either the sea or the wind, rather, or by your oars. It looks to be in fine condition. It does look like it's been used quite a bit, in that it's worn, but it doesn't have any places where it's splintering. It looks seaworthy.
So I'll tell the group, well, I used to be a sailor, and it looks like she's in fine condition. And I explained all that information that Bob told me. I spent several years in the Navy. And then upon further inspection, it looks like we've got a good seafaring vessel here. Everyone
Very
believes
good.
me.
So right now the docks are pretty deserted, and unlike last night where you had this huge storm, the night right now is actually pretty calm. And while Kelnozz is looking around the boat, the other 3 do a perception check.
I hope they find that hidden barrel of brandy.
Ooh, I'm not perceiving shit.
Not finding anything.
Okay, Eikooc. While you're watching Kelnozz take a good look at the boat, you see across the way, just across, standing on a dock, maybe like 50 or 60 feet away from you, you see a person in a long dark cloak, and through the darkness you can see it turn to you, and its eyes have a bright orange glow to them.
He's like on another dock, or like on the
Yeah.
land, or
Yep, it's on. He's standing on another dock, roughly 60 feet away from you, and the cloaked figure turned and looked at you, and you can see the bright glowing eyes, brightly in the darkness.
hey, comrades, there's a glowing-eyed figure in the distance over there. I know you can't see because of your height, but I noticed him right away.
Perhaps we should. Well, I'm gonna whisper. Like, perhaps we should try to see who it is.
Do we know?
I guess I'm gonna look over and say, "Hail, friend! Good evening."
Did you have a question there, Scott?
Do we know anything about beings with glowing eyes? Like, would that be a orange eyes based on that description? Do we know what that would be? Or is it mysterious?
You haven't seen this woman yet because you rolled that 5, I think, in your perception.
True.
So as Eikooc says, "Hail, friend." The person on the dock seems a little bit startled and returns to you, raises a hand back. You hear a woman's voice come back and say, "Hail, strangers."
What brings you out here on this beautiful night?
She starts walking towards you. She's going around to the end of her dock. Starts moving closer to your dock. You guys doing anything or just letting her approach?
We're just letting her approach. Do you have a vessel of your own in these docks?
She comes up to you, and you're still having a hard time seeing what she looks like. Eikooc. You don't have dark vision.
But
Brynn,
we can see it like the rest of us, right?
Yep. Brynn and Theren, you guys are watching her approach, and Kelnozz, you look up as she approaches, and with your dark vision, you can see that this person is a tiefling.
Tiefling.
And she says, "Well, I'm doing business out here tonight. Are any of you in the market for anything special? Anything magical?"
Well, you've piqued my interest. What sort of magical things are you offering?
Well, I can get almost any legend, almost any magical item that you might have heard stories of. Sharpest sword in the land, a shield that floats in the air. If you got the gold, then I can get almost anything.
These are some bold claims. Can you back them up with evidence, or are you all talk?
Nice.
She smirks and takes out from her robe a leather satchel, and she says, "Why, this thing is quite common. You know what this is?
Appears to be a
Make
leather
a-
satchel.
Arcana check."
Okay. Why, that is a bag of holding.
Very nice.
Thank you.
She goes, "Aha! You are a refined customer." Now, it does take some time, depending on what you're looking for. As I can get most things in as little as a week. But if you're looking for something really powerful, it might take me longer. It's 50 gold up front, and I'll negotiate the price of the item with the seller.
I'll take a step forward. I'll say, could we get your name, perhaps?
Oh, of course. My name's Captain Zandros. Of the... And...
What
Could
was the name of the person that relieved us of the swimming chainmail?
the Mariners?
What was the name of the person?
Chalet.
Valet?
Jasse.
Jasse, yeah. Jasse and Jame.
Very good. One of your comrades, Jazze, offered my friend here. Offered to look at my friend's chainmail or scale mail just this morning. We expect it back tomorrow, and if you expect any business from us, we expect to see it back.
She says, Jazze did what now?
Well, she talked the armor right off my friend. Yeah, he's not the swiftest pickle in the barrel, but we like him anyway.
We like our pickles swift.
She says, you'll have to forgive me for those three. We all four of us came here from Arcanidon, but I'm really not part of their group. I'm here just to secure trade with Arcanidon, and that's where we get these magic items from. City of Magic.
Well, if you don't want any trouble, you'll make sure that return those magic goods to us, as agreed.
And I think we can be very good friends to one another. We are adventurers, and we are in search of magic items ourselves. If we come across something that maybe we don't need from time to time, I think we can offer you a fair price, and I think we will be in the market to buy some items as well. I think this could be a...
Well, I'm always in looking for more contacts as well, so that does sound great. Just be a bit careful around those three, because they're part of the Royal Mage Army, and they don't mess around.
Thank you for the information.
There is one particular item of interest. Perhaps you've heard of it before. A drift globe.
She goes, all right, those are common, yeah. Were you looking for one?
Yes, we were.
Did you want to do an insight check to see a reaction?
Yes.
Too bad.
Perhaps you've heard of it before.
She doesn't bat an eye when you say drift globe. She's just she just says they're quite common. I can get that in a week easy. Were you looking for one?
Yes, we were. Do you know if anyone has been in the market for one recently, either buying or selling?
No, I can't say that I have. I don't know. They're common things, but they're not that. Some, people usually go for me and look for weapons and armor and maybe a wand or staff. That one's kind of mundane.
I see.
But I'll keep an eye out. If someone's looking for it, or if you need one, I can have one brought in from Arcanidon.
We're looking for a specific one that has been lost here in town.
That I'm not so good at.
If one happens to cross your path, you will let us know.
Well, I'll let you know, but you better come quick if they're offering gold for it, because I do need to make a profit here. I can only put it aside for so long. That's what I'm saying.
It's understood.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
She says, I'm in one of the houses just over on the other side of the river mouth there. You can find me there most days. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You as well.
She walks away.
Some bold claims. Any magical items we've ever heard of, she claims.
She also distanced herself from her cohorts. I feel she's not to be trusted.
Perhaps, but they did just arrive here together. I mean, they have a strong bond.
Her link to Arcanodon is alluring to me.
Oh? Have you been there, or... I don't know.
No, but I wish to know all of its secrets
Oh.
and all of its riches.
Okay.
To the graveyard.
To the graveyard.
Yep, I guess our
To the wall.
business is concluded here.
Okay. You guys head up to the graveyard. It takes you 15-20 minutes to head to that side of town. And as you get to the graveyard, it's dark out. And you see, or when you get to the graveyard, you take a look around. And at first you don't see anything. Make a perception check.
Hey, there we go. It's not bad.
Yoki, you should do it at disadvantage. Because it's dark out.
I say to... Oh god, I've already forgotten Scott's character's name.
There.
Theren. Are you able to detect evil? This is a
Okay.
graveyard.
You guys, when you get there, the graveyard is very quiet. There doesn't seem to be anybody there right now. And even the wood seems to be a bit still.
Okay, well, I'll take a moment to use some divine sense, which, if you'll remember, reveals to me the presence of any, fiend or celestial or undead in the area.
Is the radius 60 feet?
Sounds like it.
Do you want to double check?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. 60 feet of you, that is not behind soul cover, celestial fiend or undead. Not its identity. And I can also detect, like, desecrated or blessed ground.
Okay. Unfortunately, you detect nothing.
Seems like an ordinary graveyard. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. We could maybe we should search it a little further and see if anyone's been here recently. Any signs of, that kind of thing.
Yes, the letter, I don't believe, specified a day or time. Just to meet at the graveyard.
With no further information.
Probably best to search the area. It's a good thing we came at night. Makes searching much easier.
Yes. I begin to...
Do everyone who was searching make an investigation check?
My investigation is garbage.
+4, that's pretty good.
minus +4.
It's minus.
Oh,
5.
I see.
I'm Kevin, and
I put NEI
traitor.
to clarify.
You guys take a good look around the graveyard, and though there are some that are fresher than others, you don't find anything too unusual until Theren steps on something that makes a jangle sound. And you find a set of keys.
Just like Scott to Jangle.
Is it a jingle or more of a jangle?
When you stepped on it was definitely jangle. But as you pick it up, it seems jingle.
Is this graveyard next to the place where we visited the priest? What was his name?
It is.
His name was Welgar Brynhand, the cleric guy, right?
Yeah.
The Temple of Lorandra in the Church of Great Binding is basically it's visible to those of you with dark vision as a dark shape in the near distance.
Well, perhaps that well-meaning priest who weaseled us out to the marshal has lost his keys in this graveyard and needs them returned. Are there any structures or anything on the graveyard that might be locked, like a shed or a, I don't know, crypt or something?
There's no crypt. There is a small wooden shack that is just off to the side.
Well, I investigate the shack to see if it's a locked door.
It is locked.
Does the key fit?
There's multiple keys.
Oh.
But you do, after a moment of wrangling, you do find one that fits. You open the door, and inside there's shovels, a pickaxe, some stone slabs, and a chisel. Everyone make a perception check.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Bringing out the big guns.
So as Theren is in the shed, making a ruckus with all the shovels and stuff, the rest of you guys hear a whistle coming from down the road. And a moment later, in the dark, a fairly large silhouette starts walking, and then suddenly he stops and notices you.
He notices what?
He notices you guys. He notices you guys standing there and stops walking, stops whistling.
Hail, friend.
He goes, who goes there? Hello? Show yourself.
Hello. I start walking over towards him. I'm Eikooc. These are my companions.
As you get closer, you notice that the person that you're approaching here is a half-orc. And he's wearing fairly decent clothing. He looks like he's pretty well dressed for a half-orc. And he says, what are you doing in the graveyard at this hour?
We could ask you the same thing.
Well, I am the gravekeeper here, and I forgot mine keys, so that's why I'm here to get my keys. So even though you could ask me the same thing, I have answered that question. So now I'd like you to answer mine.
Well,
We're here to meet with somebody.
Hey, you get out of the shed! That's not
We found
yours!
We found your keys, by the way.
I see that.
We thought you might have been asleep in the shed, so... Or
So-
trapped, possibly.
Oh yeah, likely story. My name is Craig. Who are you?
I am Eikooc, as I have said.
Yes, but who are your compatriots?
They can introduce themselves. One is Isosceles. You should know him.
You should
No.
know the famous Isosceles.
He says, the lone wolf?
none other.
Isosceles, do you have a nickname, the Lone Wolf, that you haven't been telling us?
Why, that is a hidden name that my grandfather, Calico Jack, used to go by.
Calico Jack, you say? Is your grandfather? Oh my goodness, I have done some reading on this. But I thought that the lone wolf was in Matasco.
Tasco.
What was it, Ryan? It was Calico.
Calico Jack? That's Quasi's grandfather, great grandfather. He's a pirate cat. Orange. Calico, if you will.
Why are you here in Saltmarsh?
Why, I live in Saltmarsh. So, I'm here all the time. Surely you've heard of the great Isosceles?
I know of the great Calico Jack Isosceles and the lone wolf, as he called himself. But as I said, I heard that it was my understanding that the lone wolf, whoever was using that name, was now in Matasco. And not as just or as righteous as your grandfather was. You say this is you?
Well, I'm not saying I'm the lone wolf. My great grandfather was the lone wolf. You say he's alive? Haven't seen him in decades.
I have only heard some tales of the lone wolf coming out of Matasco. We've heard many tales come from Matasco. Have you heard of the news?
What news?
He says, come, I will tell you. Let's go to somewhere more comfortable, and I'll tell you. What was your other people's names?
Why, I'm Kelnozz.
I'm Theren Evenwood.
He says, welcome to Saltmarsh. And he starts leading you guys down into the town. Back towards the docks. To a building that you saw on your first day in Saltmarsh, where all the different boards of the building seem to mismatch. And he says, you have been in the snapping line before, yeah? I hope you like fish.
Oh yes, I've been dying to try some Sumerian sea bass.
Valerian sea bass.
Did you know that every board on this building is from a different fishing ship?
seem to know an awful lot about the city.
Yeah, I am the local lore master, you could say, here in Saltmarsh. And when I am not helping with the graveyard, I like to help Eliander in his library. There's much research to be done around here. The bar is packed with sailors and merchants who are there celebrating from their catch of the day. It's pretty busy. You guys don't manage to find a table, but you're able to find like kind of a nook where you guys can stand to the side.
What's the name of the place?
The Snapping Line. He says, and now that we're in delight, Kelnozz, are you feeling okay? You look very strange.
Yes, you'll have to forgive me. I'm slightly under the weather today.
He motions to the barmaid, and the barmaid brings over a flagon of ale for everyone. What are you guys doing?
I will be sipping this ale.
I will also take my ale.
Do you happen to know anything about... And I kind of motion over him to lean in closer, and I whisper, "The Sea Princess."
He says, well, you don't have to whisper. Everyone knows about the Sea Princes. They have scourged this area for decades, really. It has been not so bad recently. Eliander has have a group of marines who will chase them off whenever they make too many attacks on the land. But they do always come back after a time. These days, there seems to be problems everywhere you look. And it makes it hard to worry so much about the sea pirates when you must also be worrying about the elves. And, well,
Yes,
there's always monsters coming out of the Shivering Forest.
What kind of monsters?
Oh, terrible monsters like the undead have been seen in the Shivering Forest.
Have you seen anyone strange hanging around the graveyard lately?
And how do you mean strange? Some would say that I am with some very strange people right now.
Fair enough. Have you seen anyone else? We have word that someone is looking to rendezvous at the graveyard. That's why we arrived there tonight, to see if there was any sign of them. Have you seen anyone? Looks like they're waiting for someone.
He gives it some thought. Says, I don't think I've seen anyone waiting for someone. There are many people who come and they would just stand and look at the grave of their loved one. But someone who is looking up and looking for someone else of the living to join is not so common. You are meeting someone here?
Well, I was looking for my good friend Neophyte Yezda, a young apprentice, but we haven't found him in town yet. Have you ever seen him here?
He says,
someone like that?
Well, there are not too many magic users in the town who dabble in the dark arts. There are some some clerics, and some dragoons. But really, there is only Kelnozz in terms of the town wizard. If there are any other magicians, I have not met them.
Maybe I will check with Kelnozz then in the morning.
It's very strange to meet someone at a graveyard.
We agree.
What did they say? What information do you have to go on? I'm curious.
I think we've told you just about everything.
Yes, we're kind of in the dark, you might say.
Well, I wish you luck. Now, tell me, how long are you here in Saltmarsh?
At least a couple weeks, I would say.
Well, if you are looking for a way to make a living here in Saltmarsh, I could always use some help on researching in my research, and perhaps you will learn something about the area if you do that.
What sort of help are you looking for?
Well, I need help inside of Eliander's library. We would be helping with my research, which includes finding books that I am looking for and scanning the books for relevant information and highlighting and making flashcards where appropriate.
I do enjoy book reading.
It would be a solid week of work, and at the end of the week you would make 5 gold per day, which is very generous for just research.
Everyone waits around for me to work for a week.
Maybe you could learn more about like magic items and stuff.
Well, there are multiple ways that characters can spend doing downtime, and you guys could, for instance, do things like work for a sailor, work for fishing for a week, do random guard duty. There's different ways. So if you guys wanted to skip a week, for instance, we would think about how that was to happen. We would probably explore those options. Cool. So,
well, I will definitely keep that in mind. I don't want to leave my friends here for a week without anything to do. We'd have to find something for them to do first.
All right. Well, during the day you can find me at the graveyard, but during the evening, if you wish to talk, I live with Eliander at the Hull Watch Tower. And he fills your flagons before bidding you adieu.
It's nice to meet you, friend.
Und du? Okay, so you guys are still drinking your ale.
Well, it did end. Indeed.
Do we know where the Hull Watchtower is?
It is not something that you guys have encountered yet.
I should have asked them to point it out on the map.
You guys don't have a map in game.
I thought Ryan had one.
He has a map of the area. It's like the region.
Gotcha.
This is just for our sake of convenience and to help you guys visualize stuff. Oh God.
What?
I'm gonna mute BRB.
Okay. As you guys are just standing there and drinking, the tavern begins to get even more lively as a band starts playing music. What do y'all do?
Well, we could go on an adventure of undead slaying, now that we know about that happening.
Or should we sail out to the ship?
I don't know, the last rowing made me tired. Maybe if we hire a seasoned seaman that could help us get there.
You need some seasoned seamen.
Yes.
Oh.
Then again, I don't like that Gillen's attitude. Maybe we should find someone else to aid.
Well, we could go in search of the globe thing.
Well, we can question Gianna about it, or what was her name?
Who are you referring to?
The one of the three.
It's
Jessa.
Jessa and Jamie.
Yeah, well, let's see if Jessa agrees to meet us tomorrow. If she doesn't show up, then I'd say we should go looking for her and question her about the whereabouts of our vest as well as the globe, possibly.
That sounds good to me.
Well, maybe we should return back to the tavern then, where we have our rooms, and then wait for that meeting in the morning.
You guys just let me know when you decide to do something.
Should we finish our drinks and head back to our inn?
Sounds good.
Indeed.
Alright, we do that.
Okay. You guys head back to the Wicked Goat Inn. Again, once you cross the Trofin Bridge, Brynn, Theren, and Kelnozz all feel a little bit nauseous. And you manage to get back to the Wicked Goat Inn, where similar scene as the Snapping Line is very busy. People are having their meal and drinking. What do you guys do?
Probably gonna head to my room.
I take a quick scan of the room to see if Kelnozz or God, I can't believe I can't remember the name every time.
Jessa and
Jessa
Jamie
are anywhere to be seen. I don't know if I recognize Jamie, but
yeah.
Make a perception check. You don't see any of them.
okay. Then I continue up to my room.
Okay. So everyone's going to take a long rest then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone level up.
Level 20. Okay, so you guys have a long rest without any dramatic changing of channels. And in the morning, in the morning,
See you, Gabo.
can you hear us?
I don't know.
Alright, night, Kev. So you guys wake up in the morning, and the morning is yours. What do you do?
I guess we'll sit down in the eating area in the inn and see if Jessa shows up.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm gonna give Nelson control of Kelnozz. Make for him a intelligence check with his proficiency bonus added for disguise kit. Okay, Kelnozz puts together. He comes out of his room looking like he could be a high elf. He's done his disguise so well. And as you guys sit down in the main room in the morning, a couple hours go by.
I don't think she's coming.
It's most unsuitable.
Normally I'd swear an oath of vengeance, but you kind of walked right into that one.
Yep.
That's too trusting.
Should be a lesson for you. Don't give your magical armor to a stranger.
Make a perception check, everyone. Whew. Okay, everyone but Brynn. Brynn is feeling very sad as you guys taunt him, and he's looking at the table. Doesn't see as Jase and her brother Jamez walk in through the door. They're both in their. You've never seen them outside of their armor. They're both in their scale mail armor. Jase has her shield and a trident in a sling on her back, and Jamez is carrying his wicked-looking glaive. And they say, or Jase says, "Sorry we're late. You didn't think we weren't going to come, did you?"
I was beginning to question your motives. However, I'm glad to see you.
Oh, you can trust us. And she puts down the mariner's armor on the table. And she says, are you ready to learn everything about this piece of armor?
Absolutely.
This armor will make you at home in the water as if you were a fish. You'll be able to swim twice as fast as you normally could. And should you fall unconscious under the water, this will rise you to the surface. What do you think?
That sounds most excellent.
Of course. Oh, well. No need to thank me. It was only a fairly significant favor.
Well, thank you very much.
I hope you'll consider speaking to Captain Xandros, and if you come across any, shall we say, interesting items, we'd love to see them.
Absolutely. You have my favor.
Speaking of interesting items, have you come across a globe of some sort?
Drift globe, I believe
Globe.
you're.
Yes, sorry, my morning mind has drifted as well.
Make an insight check. You notice that Jamez's eyes narrow when you mention that. She says, "A globe? No. Have we met?"
I am Eikooc. I am in search of magical items. I believe we have objectives in common.
She's giving you a once over up and down. Where's your spellbook?
In my pack.
Okay. She goes, What is it that you do, Eikooc?
I am a man of many talents. Primarily the arcane arts.
Her demeanor towards you seems to change a little bit. And although she was a minute ago kind of hostile, she's warmed up a bit and she says, well, we're something of arcane art users ourselves. Jamez and I would love to speak with you in private. What do you say?
Well, as tempting as it is to wander off with you fine folks, I have obligations here with my compatriots. So, if you'd like to meet, we could all meet together.
She looks at Brynn and Theren with a level of disgust and says, she says, we have no interest in speaking to them in private. But of course your friend here may have a place among us. And she nods to Kelnozz. It would be only a moment. And it would bring great fortune to you.
Kelnozz, should we go see what they have to say?
I think we should. I'm very curious. And please call me Esther.
Call me Esther.
He's in disguise.
All right. All right. Let's see what you have to say. We'll take this out into the streets outside. Where would you like to go?
Why don't you send your companions outside, and we'll stay here where we're comfortable. And Jamez says from the back, he says, "Yeah, beat it."
We're like in the bar, right? Like there's
Yes.
people around. Kinda. Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. Can you
Very well.
can you give us a few moments?
Come, Brynn.
Okay.
Let's go aside for a moment.
So, Brynn and Theren, you guys are going to go outside. What are you going to do?
Us outside, or?
Yep.
Well, we'll just wait outside the front and talk amongst ourselves.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Both of y'all. Okay. You guys are standing there talking, not really sure about what to think about what's going on right now. And you notice that on the roof across the street is a crouched figure in a wide hat with a bushy blonde mustache that seems to stand on its end. and you recognize that Meoth is across the street, essentially watching the exchange.
Watching.
He's watching the building, like he's watching. You don't. Well, he's looking at the building. That's what you guys can see. He's looking towards the building where Jamas and Jase are now talking to Eikooc and the Kelnozz.
What's Meoth doing up there, Brynn? Very strange.
Excellent question. Very strange indeed.
Sorry, I've lost track of a lot of characters. Which one's Meoth?
He's the gambler.
Right, gotcha.
So as you guys say that, he turns as if he can hear you, and leaps away, out of sight. Are you guys gonna follow, or stay?
I will try and follow.
Okay, so he was leaping away from a building. You're gonna have to run, right? So if you're gonna start this chase, then go ahead and make a. Okay. So this is we'll do something called the skill challenge, where you're essentially going to use your skills, and we'll go through a certain number of challenges where you don't have to succeed all of the challenges, but you'll have to succeed probably most of them. So, Brynn, are you going to join in? Not Brynn, sorry, but Theren, are you going to join in the chase?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, Meoth leaps away. He's... Let's see. You guys are... This is the Wicker Cabinet, the Wicker Goat. So he's on top of the barracks over here. And he leaps to the north.
I don't know if my map is showing the correct... Like, I only see a corner of the map.
A quarter?
Just like a corner of it. Like, I can see a road, but basically it.
What magnification are you on?
I've zoomed out and zoomed back in. Oh, it flashes when I... Let me log out and log in. Being silly.
Okay, we'll go back to Ryan when he's back then. Eikooc and Kelnozz, after Brynn and Theren leave, Jase and James take a seat next to you and say, first let me ask you, have either of you heard of the Royal Mage Army?
Certainly.
And your thoughts?
Our thoughts are, sounds like a large army of mages who are interested in magical items. I don't have any specific knowledge of their motivations.
And what do you know of the King of Magic, Keizu?
Heard of him in tales and legends only.
Do you know that he brings great power to any magic user who will serve him?
I have heard it said that is the case. Do you know it to be true?
Jama says, "Of course we know it to be true. How do you think we got so powerful?" And Jase says, what my impertinent brother is trying to say is that yes, we have experienced his holiness in person. I myself pray to the god of magic every day, and he grants me this divine power. And as she says that, her eyes start glowing a bright gold radiant light. And make a religion check.
Both of us?
Just you. Do it for the other guy. Was that? Yeah, okay.
That was
So Kelnozz says, he says, I thought that only druids and rangers had gold power. And Jase says, Kaiser is a golden dragonborn, so my power reflects his. This power could be yours, were you to join him in Arcanidon. What do you say?
It's a very tempting offer. What does he ask of you? What would he ask of me?
Obedience and loyalty. Other than that, he makes a having a word today. He makes a paradise for arcane users. They don't look down at your nose at you like they do here in these primitive provinces. And Kaiser has turned what was the cursed city of demons into the greatest city in all of Alberog, Arcanidon. You should see the glass spires. Jase says, so you see, there is great power and fortunes for those who are willing to serve.
And what would it take for me to serve now?
Well, we would have to bring you on the next ship to Arcanidon and have you initiated into the Royal Mage Army. There you will be assessed, undergo training, and placed, depending on your skill. You'd have to say goodbye to those dullards that you travel with.
It is a tempting offer. I will have to consider it.
She says, consider it? What do you mean? You should be thankful for such an offer.
I am thankful for the offer. However, I'm not sure I am willing to give up my freedom for power.
Jamez says, you think you're free down in this land that hates you? Not just for your very birth, but for the magic, that very power that courses through your blood? You have dragon's blood in you, Eikooc. Don't waste it down here in the mud. They start standing up.
Thank you for your offer. I will let you know. When are you heading back to Arcanidon?
She says, we are not heading back anytime soon. And
Well,
think well on my offer. This offer does not linger long. If you wish to join us, I'll have your answer by the end of the day.
You yourself said the first step was that you would take me to Arcanidon, and yet you say that you won't be leaving for a long time. Why such a rush?
I said that you would be sent to Arcanidon. Jamez and Jase and I have work here to be done.
And what, may I ask, is your Royal Mage Army work to be done here?
She says,
so that I may understand what sort of assignments I would be subjected to.
She says, we are here to find resources for Canadon, and until you are able to pledge your more loyalty, you may not ask for any more details. What do you say, Kelnozz? And Kelnozz says,
I'm in. I'll go now.
Kelnozz says, well, I'm with Eikooc. They don't seem very happy with that answer, and they leave the building in a bit of a huff, leaving Brynn's mariner's armor on the table. Ryan, you're back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how this is going to work is I'll describe the chase, and you're going to describe essentially a way that you're going to use your skills to participate in the chase to keep up. So,
Okay.
So help you as much as possible, but think around what your skills are and how you want your character to act, kind of do it. So the first thing I'll say is so Neoth leaps away. What?
Does he see me give chase?
Well, first he leaps away, and you take off after him. He is running east.
On the
Over
rooftop or on the
Nope.
street?
He's jumped off the roof. He lands as if it's like a 2-foot fall, and just starts running very fast. Make a...
Athletics?
Yep. So how are you using your athletics?
I am running after him. Down
Okay.
the street.
Make your athletics check.
Whoops.
Okay. So he's running...
That first one was deception. That was an accident.
Okay. Well, your athletics is +3 instead of +2, so that would be a 22,
Okay.
right? So, he
accept.
takes off and starts running towards these other buildings here, and you take off after him. And as you run on the grass, you notice that it's slick with mud, and just for the briefest moment, you worry about slipping on the mud, but your elven dexterity in combination with your years of training with the land, you manage to keep going at a full sprint here. Your speed is 30.
35.
Okay. So he was, I'm going to say he was about 50 feet ahead of you. And as you finish your sprint in this first leg of the thing, you've made some ground. So now he's 45 feet ahead of you, and he's almost reached these buildings. Again, it's dark out. So, is it dark out? No, sorry, we slept since then. So it's in the middle of the morning. So it's bright out. It's bright out. You can see pretty well. He's running towards these buildings, and as he gets close, he starts to scramble up the side of one of the buildings. Do you want to climb up after him, or go around, or something else?
I think can I climb up a closer building? No, these buildings are.
So you're
closer.
here, like, this little tab space is kind of the space that we're working in. He's managed to make it to this building, and he's climbing on top. And as you get close to the building, you can see he's climbing quickly. Probably faster than you're going to be able to climb. But
Can I run around to the other side of the building?
yep. You run around to the other side of the building. Make a perception check.
Well,
Okay, you run around to the other side of the building, and for a minute you don't see him. And just for a second, your heart drops and you feel like you've lost him. When suddenly you hear, off to the side to your right, someone shout, and you can see him jumping from the roof of this long rectangle building to the more squarish building next to him. Now he's gained some distance from you.
okay.
And he's running east still.
And he's on the ground now?
No,
Or
he's jumped from... you saw him jump from this rectangle building to the more square building next to him. Because people shouted and that drew your attention.
I will run to the other side of the square building.
Okay. So you run to the other side of the square building. He's still running east here. Are you going to follow?
Yeah, I'm running east.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check.
Change. 14.
Okay, as you start running there, suddenly a wagon pulls out in front of you, and you manage to slide underneath the wagon, barely running between where the horse hooves are and where the first wheel is. You slide through and manage to get up and keep on your run. You manage to get a little bit closer to him. You manage to close the distance a little bit. He's only 40 feet in front of you. He's getting pretty close to that bridge.
Does it, like, his direction seems like he's gonna cross the bridge?
He definitely looks like he's heading toward the bridge. Make a perception check.
Yeah, is there a way for me to, like, not really, it's a straight road, so I can't really, like, cut a corner or something like... Sorry, you said perception?
Yep.
Ooh, I see the Matrix.
You see a caravan coming down the road across the bridge. And it's a guarded caravan with 4 dwarves in the front of a wagon that is loaded with digging supplies, and 4 dwarves behind it. And you see Meoth run in, and he's trying to lose you in the crowd. So make an investigation check.
Oh.
So you're kind of like looking through the crowd. You get to the bridge. You're pretty sure he's somewhere on the bridge. And you see, just in the last second, you see this kind of like pale blue energy sweep over someone. And though you weren't 100% sure what you saw before that blue energy, what you see then is a dwarf that looks exactly like a dwarf that you just walked by. And this second dwarf is now walking fairly calmly to the other side of the bridge.
Ooh. And this caravan's taking up the whole space on the bridge?
It is, but now that you see the dwarf, he's walking calmly past on the other side, towards the other side of the bridge. He's kind of past the caravan. He's probably 20 feet away from you. And for this moment, he thinks that he's gotten away.
Is there a way for me to get past the caravan without, like, rousing the guards to
Make a stealth check.
stealthing it up.
Okay, you. Let me just do an opposing check. Okay, he's not great at that. Okay, so this dwarf, you managed to essentially walk up to him without alerting him. What do you do?
Wow. I didn't think of what I would do once I caught up to him. I will tap him on the shoulder. Say, Mia.
Ooh. He spins around. His eyes are wide with shock. And something hits the back of your leg.
Ooh.
Make a strength saving throw with disadvantage.
Ooh.
You fall to the ground. It feels like something just swept out your feet. And the dwarf takes the second to leap into the water. You stand up, go immediately to the edge of the bridge, make a perception check.
Perceive.
He seems to be gone.
Ooh. Can I like run to the other side of the bridge to see if he like traveled underneath it?
Sure. Yeah, you can go to the other side of the bridge and make another perception check if you want.
Frantic searching.
With a 21, that feeling that you've lost him returns to you. You don't see him anywhere.
Wah, wah. There's no trace of him or the dwarf. His hat isn't floating down the river, or
No, you don't see the dwarf, and you don't see any hat. But you do feel kind of sick.
Ooh. Sickness. I will begin walking back to. So after searching around, not really finding anything, I will begin walking back to where my friends are interrogating someone.
Okay. So, Brynn, during this time, Kelnozz and Eikooc had a long conversation with Jose and Jamez. Brynn just took off after Meoth. What did you do during that time?
Well, I guess I was just waiting outside. Have I seen Jessa leave in a huff yet?
Yep, after a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, Jase and Jamez both leave the building. They brush by you, don't even look at you.
Okay. Well, upon seeing them leave, I head back into the tavern to catch up with the others.
Okay, after a few moments, Brynn comes back, huffing and puffing from a long chase. You guys are reunited?
My friends, what have you learned?
I'm wanted in the Mage Army.
Ooh, Mage Army.
As am I.
It doesn't sound like it's very suitable.
They seemed very aggressive.
Yes. If you have to be a prick like that, I wouldn't like to be there.
Well, we saw, damn it. Miracle? Meoth. We saw Meoth on the roof, spying on us. It was very strange. He ran off. Brynn, did you manage to catch up with him?
He disappeared at the bridge. I was unable to locate him, but most curious that was. Most curious.
He probably just wants more bark.
He was spying on maybe us, maybe Jesse and Jalay's away.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep an eye out for that wide-brimmed hat.
Definitely just wants more bark.
I'm almost scared to ask.
Do we know who the third member of their team was? Because there was only 2 of them there, right? There's Jessa and Jemme, her brother, and there's a third guy?
There is a third.
Have you met the third?
Well, Captain Zendros was related to them in some way.
But that's not the third of their little trifecta, right?
Yeah, the captain said there was 3 others.
Oh, was that there was a guy with blue hair or something?
That was Jamez.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna play this one a little close to the chest.
Okay. Okay. Well, most excellent that you got your chainmail back. Hey, Brynn, there it is.
Indeed.
You can probably remember to pick that up and not leave it on this table and walk away.
Yes, I certainly pick up that scale mail.
Okay. So, what we can do now is there's a couple things that you guys have left to do in terms of a couple small quests, and there might be more that you can pick up around town. Or you guys know that who's got the speakers on? Can you reduce that? Okay, so what we can do is either continue doing the quest as you guys like, or you guys do have the option of essentially we can come up with what you guys are doing for the next week or so, because that's when you know roughly the council's going to send you on the trip to the next boat. So I think right about now is probably a good place to pause for the night, and we can maybe decide that now if you want, or if you really
Okay,
we can decide it later. But
okay, so I don't know. What are our options? So basically, we could say that.
So what you guys do, if you guys do decide to say skip a week, is essentially your characters would all be looking for stuff to do during the week, and so some examples of that are you could craft an item, you could do carousing, which is basically like you just drink all week and party at the tavern. You can do work for the fishers. You've already been offered a job for a week to help the research with Crag at the graveyard.
You could go work in the mine.
Yeah, it's probably true. There's kind of odd jobs to do that wouldn't be quote unquote adventures, but would give you guys some experience. And if you work at some of these jobs long enough, you will earn contacts who will be able to give you more useful information and maybe send you on adventures.
Alrighty. I could look for maybe some guard duty with see if hold on. Ilandor Fireborn needs some extra hands with guard duty or patrol maybe of the streets.
Patrolling the streets probably isn't a bad idea. Maybe trying to find Muslin.
Brynn, maybe like you could ranger it up in the wilds and kind of get the lay of the surrounding lands and like the plant life and so on, and
collect some berries.
Yeah.
Collect some bounties.
It's true.
That would
Sounds more
probably
like
yeah.
Yeah, that's not like.
So let's see. So if you guys, I can give you guys some examples of some things you need to do, but you need to basically commit to doing the downtime part, because it'll represent me telling you looking around for this work. So you guys definitely want to skip time, basically.
I'm kind of okay either way. Like, I don't think we have to.
No, you don't have to.
Well, we've kind of lost leads on main quest, though, haven't we? Like, there's some mysterious stuff in the south with the undead, but we don't know too much about it other than, like, you know, go wander around south looking for undead to kill. That's not really much to go on.
There's a lot of different things. There's the undead. There's the dwarf who owns the. I don't know if the dwarf who owned the mine had adventure for us or just work. So
well, isn't that too far south though? Is that like quite a journey?
A couple days south, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like we've committed to
City
this
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we've committed to this thing in a week, right? So we're just looking for odd jobs around here.
Yeah. We're still looking to meet up with that person in the graveyard. We still got the boat we can go after. There's the Bridge of Sickness.
Oh yeah, what's up with that Bridge of Sickness?
There's yeah, there's lots of things to try and investigate. We just have to pick one and kind of go after it.
Okay, well, do you want to just continue investigating some of these things next week rather than skipping an entire week and then, you know,
Sure.
let the week just kind of come when it comes?
I'm good with that.
Sure. Might as well until we're at least out of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's pause there. You guys had just finished talking to Jamez and Jase. We had a little chase.
Do you record this one too, Bob?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty useful for going back and listening to. Okay, so we'll start next time. We'll pick up from here, and you guys will have the better part of half a day left to do whatever.
Nice. Your microphone sounds significantly better.
This like recording thing that I have at